Hello folks, I'm back out in the garage again today. Today we're continuing on with the diagnostics of this engine problem. Uh, Spoke to several people, including some of those online. Thanks, Randy. Um, uh, and what I've determined to do now, for next anyway, is to pull the valve covers off and see what we got going on with the rocker arms. There's a possibility that the camshaft might be having problems, and that could be the reason why cylinders number 6 and 8 are reading a considerably higher compression than the rest of the motor. The thought is that if the exhaust valve is not opening properly, that it's not allowing the full charge of the intake stroke to let all the gases out. Also, not letting all the fuel out that is being pumped in by the throttle body injectors. So that's what we're going to do today. Is going to pull that rocker arm off on both sides, most likely, especially this side over here. The other side, the passenger side, looks like I may actually have to disconnect and take away all of the air conditioning brackets and stuff like this. So I'm not sure I'm going to do that today, but I do want to know about these cylinders back here in the back. Those are the ones that are giving me the most concern now. It is a possibility that we still have a head gasket problem, in that we have bubbles in the tank over here, and whenever I'm turning it over, I can actually hear bubbles in the coolant system after the engine quits rotating. You guys may have heard it in the videos, I'm not sure, but that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be a little bit difficult today. The other day, whenever I was out here doing the compression test up and down on this chair, I must have pulled a muscle in my groin area here, and sometimes if I turn a certain way, it just about makes me fall down. But I'm going to at least get this valve cover off and see what we got going on, and I'll bring you along for the ride. All right, I got the valve cover off. Not a pretty sight. You can tell this is a 218,000 mile motor. Back here in the back, oil had pooled up so bad that when I pulled the valve cover off, it all drained down through there. So the return holes completely blocked. So all the oil's coming up to the top and just staying there. Eventually possibly trickling down, but not much. So I'm going to set you guys up on a tripod. Hopefully I can zoom you in good enough to where you can keep an eye on the rocker arms back here. And I'm thinking that the very far one, I believe that's the exhaust valve. I'm thinking that it won't be moving very much, but we'll give it a shot. With all the engine oil staying up here, most likely the cam, it may have been starving for oil. I don't know, but I'll bring it back in just a minute. Okay, I'm gonna spin it over. Like I said, keep an eye on this back one back here, but if you don't see any others moving, scream out and let me know, will you? Well, what'd you see? What? I can't hear you. What'd you see? All right, I'll play it back. All right, I played it back several times. I didn't notice any problems with the number 8 cylinder, other than the fact that it's bathed in oil. That alone could cause, is most likely with the bad valve stem seals is allowing oil to just constantly flow into the combustion chamber through both the exhaust and intake valves. So that being said, I was looking for other things. What I did notice is cylinder number 2, the intake valve, the rocker arm is not moving anywhere near as much as the other rocker arms are. It's still moving, but not as much. And looking at my compression test from the other day, number 2 had a compression of 145 dry and 145 wet. Made no difference. The others did come up slightly by 5 pounds each, approximately. Number 8 came up a little higher than that, but cylinder 6 and 4 came up 5 pounds. Cylinder number 2 didn't come up at all. So that definitely is telling me that we're going to need a new cam. In order to get all the gunk out of here and get it flowing oil again, the heads are going to have to come off and get cleaned completely. There's most likely on cylinders 8 and 6, there's most likely a whole bunch of carbon back behind the valve because of all this oil that has been coming down and frying to the backside of the valves. And I don't know, it might be the same with the passenger side or driver's side. Most likely is, although I didn't see any wet oil or stuff like that whenever I was doing the compression tests on those. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that valve cover off and we'll check it. But before I do, I'll go ahead and, now that I've got that fresh in your mind about cylinder number 2, I'll go ahead and let you see that again, and you'll see what I mean, I hope. Watch this one here in comparison with the others. Well, I've got the driver's side valve cover loose, but in order to get it off, this has to be moved out of the way. I've got this bracket loosened up, but I can't seem to get that thing past this one stud. I'm working on it, and hopefully soon I'll be able to get the valve cover off. There's so much stuff in the way back there, you can't slide it back and up, or up in the back and out that way. So this air compressor's got to be moved. As far as I can tell, most of the bolts are loose. I've still got one there, I guess, right back in there that I've got to loosen up, right in there. But the bracket is just about completely loose from the truck, but I'm working at it. Okay, I hope that's got it to where you can see all 4 cylinders there. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but cylinder number 2, exhaust, and maybe even the intake a little bit, as well as number 4's intake valve doesn't appear to be moving as it should. The rest of them seem to be doing okay. That being said, I'll think about that for a minute and come back. But there's one other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to video the injectors, because I have a feeling that the injectors are not spraying properly or atomizing properly like they should. So I'll do that test, and then I'll be back for some final words on this. on this video. Okay, I don't know if you guys could see that or not, but I know there's a lot of things to look at the same time, but playing it back several times, I looked at it, and cylinder number 1, the exhaust valve, as well as the intake, I don't think the intake was actually functioning as it should either. And then cylinder number, I said, yeah, 1 and then 3. Cylinder number 1 and number 3, the intake valve wasn't going up and down as it should either. So I'm going to do another test where I take a video of the injector spraying and see what that looks like, and then I'll be back for a few words and see if I can give some kind of a diagnosis of what we have. Okay, my sister-in-law gave me this phone holder, and I wanted to try it out to see if I could get close enough to actually see what these injectors are doing. I want to know if they're just dribbling or if they're spraying. I took that ring thing off that goes around it, and hopefully we'll be able to see it. What'd you see? Was it sprayed or dribbling? Or doing a little bit of both? All right. You guys don't help me a whole lot. I'll play it back and look. Okay. Hopefully you guys stuck around for the fuel injector test there, if you want to call it that. It definitely appears that the injectors are spraying, atomizing, but they're also dribbling at the same time. So that's not good. It should be all full atomized sprays on both of them. And so they'll definitely need some cleaning. I don't think they're as bad as I thought they were. I thought that they might have just been squirting instead of just spraying. But there was some of the atomizing. Now, as far as the rocker arms, from the best I can tell, the front of the motor appears to be having the most problem with the rocker arm movement. So number 2 on the passenger side, I believe it was the intake valve. I don't remember now. I think it was the intake valve was not going up and down like it should. And then number 1 and 1 and 3 on this side also seems to be having some problems. From there back, everything looks to be okay. It could very well be that because of the front returns for the oil galley, for the valve, for the heads, returning back into the lifter galley, that those areas weren't getting as well splashed as they should have. That's bad. I mean, there is some oil that comes down onto the camshaft via the lifters, the oil that goes to the lifters, but the splash return back, there's a little valley or channels in there that is also supposed to, I believe, splash some up on the lifter camshaft lobes. So that's definitely a problem. It will need a cam. It's going to need the injectors cleaned well. I think I've got a way to do that. I've watched several YouTube videos on it. May be able to come up with a system to do that. And then it's going to need a top-end gasket set, which includes the head gaskets, valve cover gaskets, intake gaskets, and I'll also need valve stem seals, and I'm going to put a new water pump on it. Of course, the water pump seals. There's going to be quite a bit of work done, and a lot of cleaning and scrubbing, and it's going to be a mess for a while. I probably won't even get into all that cleaning stuff because everybody knows how that goes. But when it's going to also be a while before I can get to this because my money is kind of limited, and that's probably going to be a couple $100. Hopefully, I can take the heads down and get somebody to just put them in a parts washing or parts cleaning vat and clean them that way. That would be the best bet. I'll still have to pull the valves out. I'll probably do that before I send it down to get it fatted. Pull the valves out and get those all cleaned up on my own. I can do that here with the wire wheel and stuff like that. But that's where we stand as of right now. I appreciate you guys watching. Please like and subscribe. And most of all, thanks for coming along for this crazy ride that I'm on. Thanks. Bye.